Hello, geeks. This is the officially unofficial geek channel, and my name is Carrie Quinn, and I'm your host for this array of weekly comics. Woohoo! Yeah! Okay, we've got a lot to discuss here today, and some good shit. Okay, so strap yourselves into the chair because here we go. We're gonna get started really quick because we do have a lot to talk about. But as always, please, if you like what I have to say, or even if you don't, you just want to follow me and see how much of an imbecile I am, that's always fun too. Get me the follows, get me the views. I don't care if you like me. Actually, I really do care if you like me. That's the truth. I do care. I do care. So please like me. Okay, anyways. So, please like this video, subscribe to my page, hit the notification button. Please check out our Facebook, and if you're on TikTok, check me out there. Sometimes I do little videos and they're fun. Most recently, my boyfriend actually made me the Harley Quinn breakfast sandwich from Birds of Prey, and it was delicious. And I took pictures of it and I made a little video about the sandwich. So, anywho, so let's get into the comics. This is the week of May the 10th. Yes, May the 10th. Um, and I'm really excited. So let's do this. So the first issue that we're going to talk about, and let me tell you, this guy is getting to be one of my favorite writers here in comics. Chip Zdarsky, something like that. He's fucking good. Whatever. Okay, this is Marvel. Actually, I know typically I do mostly DC, but this is Marvel, and this is Spider-Man Spider's Shadow, a what if tale. This is the second issue in the series. Lovely there. Got your lovely little here. All right. So this is, like I said, the second issue of the series. So Spidey, let me just remind you all, these are going to be slightly spoilerific. So if you haven't read these yet and you mind spoilers, like a lot, please go ahead, go read the books, and then come back and watch this video. Or if you like spoilers, go ahead, keep watching. I don't, hey. Okay, so anyways, Spider-Man, Spider Shadow #2. So Spidey has a new personality, and with that, a new attitude. In this what-if story, like I mentioned, Peter Parker is made the decision at this point to stay close and personal with the symbiote. He's dealing with the death of his Aunt May, and trying to gain some perspective on his new outlook of permanently cleaning up the streets of his enemies and how his newfound angst has a body count. I really did enjoy this. I think it's funny that my first foray, or my newest more like foray into Marvel Comics has actually been a Spider-Man tale that's a what if, where it's kind of a little bit troublesome in that perspective. But I do really enjoy this. I'm probably going to keep this up. This is only a 4-issue series, so it's not a lot of commitment. If you want to pick it up, if your local store has the first one and also the second one still, like I said, not a lot of commitment, 4 issues, and it's actually written really well, and I'm really enjoying it, so I can recommend that one. So moving on to the next one, we have a Titan Comics issue here. This is issue #2 of the Doctor Who Missy comic. Yes, it's your favorite version of the Master, or at least it's my favorite version of the Master. At least she's my favorite version of the Master. I really do love Missy a lot, and where we pick up with Missy, Missy is still somehow has the Master, a previous version of the Master, fooled into thinking that she's the Doctor. And while they are still escaping the storm cage, they get a little assistance from none other than motherfucking River Song herself. Missy seems to even fool River as well, which is saying a lot considering she is the doctor's wife. Um, and they make it back to the TARDIS she stole, and they move on with their adventure. There's not a lot to this. There's a really cool scene involving some swordplay between Missy and the Master, where she continues to fool him, and he's just like, "Hey, you've even, you've upped your sword game, and thinking it's the Doctor." I got to tell you, I'm not exactly sure that the Master is completely fooled, but he's acting like it, which is always fun. So the next one we're going to talk about is another new issue, new series starting up here. It's called Justice League Last Ride. Awesome sauce. Okay, so obviously this is kind of in a different place than what we're dealing with the main Earth continuity right now. We do have a Wonder Woman, so yeah, it's a little different. And what's really interesting is I think it's kind of tying into something else that's going to be kind of special coming out next month. So that's always good. It's good to get little like tidbits here and there about things that are coming out especially coming out in June, because June is going to be a major month involving comics, involving Pride Month. So that's going to be fun. But anyways, Batman and Superman are at odds with each other. There's kind of like the Justice League has been like, they're not disbanded. Not really, but they are kind of separated from each other. And wow, Superman is not doing the best head-wise and seems to be having some kind of like PTSD issues from one of their last fights. You find out that he blames Batman for the death of another hero, and but it doesn't stop any of them from going back to the Justice League when that alarm goes off. And we find the most awkward meeting of two men, just short of Harry and Will at the Grandpa Prince funeral. They just they don't have they don't have the ability to just make painful small talk while glaring at each other from across the room for too long, because the ones that called them, and this is the Green Lantern Corps, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and some other of the Green Lantern Corps show up, and they have a very special guest with them. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you who the special guest is, because you have to read it to believe it. I had heard, I got a little bit spoiled on this before I got the chance to read it. It did make me want to read it even more, even though I got a little spoiled. But I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'm not going to do that. You have to read to find out who their special guest is. Oh my. Okay, and it's fun. It's fun reading it, who the special guest is. Basically, the Green Lantern Corps is asking the Justice League to babysit, basically, this special guest. Yeah, just read it. It's fun. It's fun, and it's. I have a feeling it's going to tie into something that we've already had, that we've already been told about is going to be happening in June. So read it, and if you read it and you get to the end, you're going to know. Hopefully, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Hopefully, you've heard about this really cool new series that's coming out. It's a small limited series in June, and I hope. I can't tell you about it because it gives away who the special guest is. So sorry, can't tell you. I told you, some spoilers, not the big ones, but some. I told you. Okay, so moving right along, we're going to move on to, because we got a lot to talk about. Lots. We're going to Superman. Superman number 31. Okay, it's really one of these things. I don't have a lot to say about Superman 31, except because I don't want to tell you much about the plot. And that's not because, like, there was anything wrong with it. It was just one of those things where it was like, I finally clued into something in my mind that I was trying to figure out what it was making me think of. If a lot of you keep up with the comic news and everything like that, the stuff that's coming up, um, and if any of you read any of the Future State, you would know that eventually Superman is not Superman as we know him. It's going to be his son, John. And I have a feeling that, in fact, this is going to be starting like actually pretty soon in the series Superman. It's just really nice. It's okay, so like there's a lot of voiceover type storytelling here, where it's kind of like if you've watched like How I Met Your Mother or anything like that, where there's like for my generation, the Wonder Years, where it's like there's like voiceover of like the older Kevin Arnold talking about younger Kevin Arnold. But it's kind of like it's been building up to this moment where we're going to eventually have Jon-El becoming Superman. And it's just so endearing. It's endearing. It just seems like, especially with the voiceovers and everything like that, Superman is talking on like a recording or something like that to his son, because his son doesn't have a lot of faith in himself involving the job. He doesn't feel like he can do it. And this is something that you've seen throughout the course of like not only this comic, but you've also seen it in other ones like some Justice League centric stuff where you get Jon-El talking about just the bigness of his father, and but then you also have this other side where Superman is just like talking to him in some way, like basically while Jon-El is saying that he doesn't think he's up to the challenge, Superman's saying they're like, no, you don't even get it. You are, because of this. And I gotta say, like, it did get me a little bit emotionally because it's so sentimental and lovely, and I tried to talk about it as much as I can, but that's kind of where we are with Superman right now. And I don't want to talk about too much of the plot because I want you to read it first, actually. So the next one I'm going to talk to you about here is Wonder Woman 772. I love this cover. This is awesome. It also includes Adventures of Young Diana. I did not read this. I haven't really been into that. And also the Superman one included the Tales of Metropolis. I haven't really been into that when I've read it the first few times, so I didn't keep up with that. And the same thing with the Young Diana tales. So, let's talk about Wonder Woman. Wow. Okay. Two special guest stars, two of them, and I'm not telling you who they are because it gives too much fucking away, and I don't want to become your replacement for reading these stories. So, but believe me, you'll be happy you came to read these. So Diana continues her quest to fix what's up with Asgard, and little parts of her former self are coming back along the way. It's really nice. She's remembering things little by little. And come for the special guest stars. Stay for the moment where you legit have an oversized snake vomit up his Wonder Woman omelet because what's life without puke and shit and fart jokes randomly appearing where Sirius is treading everywhere. I was about ready to kind of push this aside to we'll buy it in a trade later on and kind of center more around different things. But then what happens is then I read another one when I'm almost ready to do that, and it gets me back. And this one got me back, and it was lovely. It was wonderful, and it really there's some really cool, moments in this, especially those guest stars that show up. You're gonna really like. You're gonna dig this. It's really good. So check it out. Moving right along, we have part 2 of 6 of Batman the Detective. My original appeal of going to this one was because of the fact that a lot of it's set in London. I love London. So this was great. And we do have special guest stars in this one as well. Does anybody that read this, or even read the first one, does anybody think that Squire hanging out with Batman is either having her best week ever or feeling like she's having her most inefficient week ever? If you read it, you'll understand. Sadly, Batman has a little experiment in this one that he gets the info he needs, but it works too well on a couple different levels. And we have yet another moment of the unofficial theme of Batman, or maybe it's the official theme of Batman, in my opinion, of man versus himself versus everyone else. Isn't that kind of Batman? That may appear as a trite trope anywhere else, but it's customary and required for Batman. Basically any Batman. So that was Batman the Detective. Really, really kind of, this is another one. I was like, I'm enjoying this, but it was one of those things where it was like, am I really going to keep going on this, or am I going to go ahead and wait for the trade? I gave it that second issue, and now it's locked me in again. So I continue to spend most of my money at the comic book shop. Yeah, that's me. Okay, so moving right along, we've got the next one, which is the number 3 issue of Batman Urban Legends. Now, this contains a Red Hood, Grifter, the Outsiders, and Lady Shiva story. Now, at the time of this video, I did not read the Outsider story or the Lady Shiva story. Why? Well, because I haven't been liking the Outsider story. It's meh to me. Lady Shiva, I didn't know enough about the character to really give a crap. So I didn't read that. Maybe I'll go back and read them later, but I read the Red Hood story and I read the Grifter story because, this girl loves her some Red Hood and Grifter. I had to take a drink there, guys. Sorry. So Red Hood is picking up where we always are with him and Batman. Batman has now calmed down the kid. Blue Hood, the kid is referring to himself as Blue Hood, and apparently he keeps lollipops in his belt. Sweet Batman, I'll take a cherry flavored one. Thanks a lot. They take care of the kid, the kid's immediate situation together, and you see the love that Batsy actually has for Jason here. It's a really sweet moment, and Batman continues on his quest to turn Jason into the detective he's always thought Jason could be. It's a really nice moment where they're kind of working together and, trying to figure stuff out together, and I love that. And Bruce continues, like I said, to try to work with him into becoming a detective with mixed results. However, we do find that there is one person in the Bat family that nobody can stand disappointing, It's not Batman. Nobody can stand to disappoint Oracle, Barbara Gordon. Nobody can stand to disappoint her, and I love it, and I'm here for it because everybody loves Oracle. Um, as it should be. So Grifter story. Okay. It was amazing. I love Grifter. Um, I love Grifter as always, and I want I want to know what the deal is with who he's working for, really, because everyone is sniffing around that and they're close to it either way. I have to think this might have something to do with the Grifter stories in the Future State Dark Detective series, with the conversation between him and Luke Fox. Now, if you're familiar with that, you might understand what I'm talking about, but if you're not, I recommend, if you haven't picked up the Dark Detective series yet and you're trying to figure out what the hell I'm talking about, some of the Future State stories are finally coming out in trade paperback books, and those are going to be coming out in July. The Dark Detective is one of them that's coming out in July, so you can pick it up and read it all at one time. I highly recommend it. I read it. I loved it. It was really good shit, especially the Red Hood stories and the Grifter stories that actually also appear in the Dark Detective, like I'm mentioning here. The Dark Detective stories is like really killer too. And so anyways, um, so there are too many questions and two parts to this story left. So we're on a clock, guys. We're on a clock. So either we get more answers in 2 issues of this, or a Grifter series to himself. A Grifter series to himself, yes. I would accept either. Answers, or give me the Grifter series. DC Comics. Give me, and the world, really, the Grifter series. Even if it's limited, I would say try it out. See what happens. Maybe you'll grow to love him as much as we do. Because he's awesome. Just so you know. Okay, so we're getting done. We're down to the last 2 things that I read this week. So you know what that means. We're down to the best of what I read. So next to last issue, speaking of Future State, DC started a new Future State story this past week, and it is called Future State Gotham. Now, this is, if you read The Dark Detective, what you've been waiting for. There were 4 issues to The Dark Detective, and 2 of the issues, extra stories, were Grifter stories, and that 2 others had extra Jason Todd stories. Oh my goodness. So we're kicking off the continuation of the Jason Todd stories, where we have Jason Todd with the shiny armor, being given the opportunity to prove himself as a peacekeeper, Peacekeeper Red. But do not feel downtrodden, because as a continuation of the previous Dark Detective stories to Jason Todd, the conversation he's been having with someone in the shadows of an alley indicate his true long con is to bring down that magistrate. Who's the person afraid to show their face in the alley? See, that, I want to know that. And is his former teammates aware of this plan? Because I don't think they are. Love the fact that this is black and white, no color, guys. Like, I know even with this cover, it looks like there's color, because there's just like a little, there's red and that kind of thing, but like, no, in the issue, no color, none, black and white, and it's retro. It's so awesome. Oh my god, I really hope It was like, I love the black and white. It looked gritty and yet polished like a little sapphire. And I wonder if they're going to keep this black and white for the entire series. I hope so because it's so OG and I'm here for it. Mm. So, okay, so that was Gotham Future State. Future State Gotham, number one. Guys, I gotta tell you, this next one, this is my last one for the week. And holy shit. Holy shit. Every month, it is my comic of the week. Every month since it started. And if you've been reading it, you know why. It's absolutely fantastic. And let's get on with it. It's The Joker 3. It's The Joker. It's all about the Joker. It's all about the Joker. Okay, so we have Jim Gordon preparing himself for the task to come. I love how he spends most of the issue like he's profiling the Joker, only to talk about how profilers have failed. And we are sitting there where most of the comic is the reader gain a first class seat to his innermost thoughts and his plan. We do have some badass Oracle moments as well with Spoiler and Cass King. And then we get Jim, and we're seeing other these other plans to come and kill the Joker all coming along. So Jim gets right to work once he touches down in Belize, and he even surprises himself. And I'm not going to tell you what happened, but you got to read this, because if you're not reading this, you need to pick it up. That ending is like chef's kiss, magnifique. Yes. It was just like, and if it hadn't given us that ending, it still would have been the best comic of the week, just how well it's written. But that ending, dear God, I was like, can it be next month already so I can get issue number 4 of this thing? Issue number 4. I want it now. I want it now. The Punchline extra, I read it. Punchline may have finally found her match in prison, and Bluebird finds out that the Punchline isn't the only psycho in the circus. And so, but nothing compares to the Joker. I'm reading the Punchline series because I do think that it's not bad. It's like actually kind of, a-okay. And I'm reading the shortened, the little extra Punchline stories because I think that there might be something that might tie into something later on. We have got a lot of stuff going on in this whole storyline with everything. And it just keeps on getting better and better. Like, especially the Joker. Jesus fuck, guys. The Joker comic is, like I said, I want number 4 right now. Give me more of this Jim Gordon hunting the Joker. More of it. So, okay, guys, so that is the comics for the week. I really appreciate you guys coming on this little journey with me. I'll be back next week. I'm also going to be working on possibly getting out a main event video. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. Maybe that might be good. So keep reading, support your local comic book shop. Shop small comic books, small chains. They really need your money. Small businesses as a whole need your money. If you're not vaccinated yet, get vaccinated. CDC, and all that, change the guidelines. So get it done. Get it done. Um, so that's it for the comics this week. This has been the officially unofficial Geek channel here on YouTube. Please like this video, comment, let me know what you thought about the comics this week. Like this video, subscribe. If you haven't been to my Facebook page to like that as well, please do. The address will be down below in the description. And take care of yourself, guys, and see you next week. Bye.